Hello, I'm Wayward. The game is Dawn of War 2 Elite Mod. The map is Fortuna Sanctum, and the players at the top left is Mikasa, our Ravener Alpha Tyranid player, and at the bottom right is... I do not know how to pronounce this name. I'm sorry. We'll just call him our blue Imperial Guard player as the Lord General. So yeah, I do apologize. I do not know this name.
Commander here. Go ahead.
But yeah, Fortuna Sanctum, I think this is a player-made map, and it's not one I'm familiar with, so we will learn this one together. Got some Imperial ruins in the center. Let's see, we've got, what do we have in the field right now? We've got a Guardsman squad, we've got a Sentinel, we've got the Ravener Alpha up here, we've got Hormagaunts and 2 Termagants.
Sir, power node is ready.
So Ravener Alpha, one of my personal favorite heroes in the game. Always like to see him engage in some shenanigans. Lord General is not one I'm actually super familiar with. I believe the squads he has with him indicates things about him. He's mostly a support general, I believe. So big fight here. We've got these guardsmen fighting, repairing the Sentinel. That's a nasty strategy that is very useful to, I think, our guard players. Lord General lost, I think, one of his little guardsmen following him around, and Sentinel being forced back by the Hormagaunts, which are trying to close into melee with these guardsmen. Guardsmen being forced to run away, General being forced to run away. Some power harass going on with these Hormagaunts already. So right out the gate, Mikasa is pushing his opponent off the map. Both players, I should note, have 1 VP so far. But Ravener Alpha actually building another tunnel, teleporting away. We'll have to try to keep track of these tunnels. There are already several of them on the map. There's the exit for that one. Right now, let's see if he retreats any of his guys through the tunnel. Lord General coming into melee. Yep, there they go, right into the tunnel. Oh my gosh, we got a ton of guys popping right back out. Ravener Alpha is very nasty. We have Warrior Brood out as well, coming to do things that they do. We actually have the ground pound on the Sentinel. That makes sense to force things out of melee. And Catachan Devils, that's what that was, the generation of Catachan Devils. A full retreat now from Mikasa, and our IG player is going to be able to try to regain some presence on the map. I feel like I've been saying this whole time that he doesn't have presence, but honestly, the map is pretty evenly split so far, with only the 3 points in the middle not being taken. These Hormagaunts taking the point to the top right, and the bottom left being taken by the Catachan Devils. Looks like they had a little demolition trap thing there in case that point gets taken. That's going to be an unwelcome surprise. Our damaged Sentinel is taking the power node here in the kind of north center area, and the Guardsman Infantry Squad is taking the central VP, while our Lord General trying to come out here and fight these Hormagaunts. Warriors coming out. Looks like they're going to try to tango with the Lord General. Actually, we have 2 Warrior Broods out right now. These ones are upgrading Barbed Stranglers. And we have some power harass coming out here for our Tyranid player. This is a lot of Tyranids and a lot of guards. And we have 2 Catachan squads on the field, which is going to be potentially pretty nasty thanks to those grenades. Another grenade goes down from these Catachan Devils. But yeah, this is IG versus Tyranids, so you've got a lot of stuff happening, a lot of stuff on the field. The Lord General being forced to run away, one of those Termagants being forced to run away. Ravener Alpha still out and about, a Catachan Devil squad running away, and it's like both of them getting out of there. Sentinel and IG squad, note the Guardsmen are getting out, and Sentinel being pursued by the Warrior Brood. Looks like it is able to keep ahead of them for now.
Power node is taking hits.
But yeah, another good fight from Mikasa as our IG player forced off again. He does still have the central point though, so all this fighting is keeping Mikasa busy enough that he's not able to definitively capitalize on that territory. And those IG coming right back out. More Catachan Devils. A third squad. This seems a little excessive to me. This is not the game where you get this many squads of things. One of those warrior broods being forced off. A decap at this point. But a full capture is not in the cards right now. We've got the Royal General trying to do that. While these Catachan Devils come up here to try to mess with these Termagants and mess with them, they do. Termagants upgraded with Toxin Sacks, and that Ravener Alpha is very low and forced to retreat. So, well played by our Russian named IG player.
Sir, our advantage is slight.
Those Warriors forced. Oh no, the tunnel actually destroyed, so the Warriors in a very bad spot. Barb Strangler able to do a little suppression there, and then they run away, so they are out.
Coming up. Generator coming up.
Let's see, full power farm coming down there for our Russian named player. Doing a good job holding the middle with those IG Tyranid. Bunching up, which is really bad against these Catachan Devils. See, they're kind of popping in and out of the tunnel. I'm not sure what the point of that is. The tunnel actually being taken out, so our Ravener Alpha tunnels are pretty much off the map. That was a bad chase there for Mikasa, unfortunately. Got some more guys retreating here. Another one of those improvised explosives coming out here to protect that. This one looks like it's been triggered already. So Mikasa going for tier 2, still with a slight advantage in terms of trying to take out that improvised explosive device. It almost worked. Another one. There we go. That's a big explosion. So yeah, Mikasa, I think, doing okay with getting to tier 2, trying to take back some of the map here and reestablish these Ravener tunnels. IG pushing up into Tyranid territory yet again. These Termagants are... So it looks like those explosions are more for keeping them off balance and actually killing them outright.
We have an edge for now.
Yeah, man, I've cast a couple of these in a row, and the IG have a really strong combined arms force. Sorry about that camera control. I'm trying to do my best. The camera panning is not exactly where I want it to be in this game, where I'm just not doing it. Sentinel is still kind of in there. Oh, we have a capillary tower coming out from Mikasa. I like seeing the use of that red resource. Tyranid, I think, tend to use it a lot in games that I've seen, and I saw some IG use in my last game. So that capillary tower forcing a retreat. We'll have to see if Mikasa can capitalize on this. We have some Hormagaunts trying to mess with this power farm, but our IG player is getting... They actually killed one of the generators, so good on Mikasa. The Bastion Tier 2 upgrade is underway, and we have a Zoanthrope on the field for Mikasa. We'll have to see if this helps turn things around for him. He actually managed to grab the center and is re-grabbing a large portion of the map right now. More Ravener tunnels going down.
I'll see to it personally.
Meanwhile, we have some regrouping going on for our IG player. Another generator coming down. That will slow him down a little bit, though. Those are not super cheap. It's always good to get a generator kill or more than one. Another capillary tower, it looks like, going down, or coming up, I guess you should say. So we have the Zoanthrope there on the field. Looks like it's doing its nasty little thing. It's actually not doing too much against the Sentinel there. Ravener Alpha is very low. It has Synapse Aura damage. But yet getting out of the fight there. Warrior Brood with the Barbed Stranglers is doing its thing. The high tier units are... Oh no, we have a support power from coming down. Looks like we have an artillery barrage. Taking out a lot of territory here. The Zoanthrope is still on the field, however. Even if most of the other stuff isn't, we also have these Hormigons. Capillary Tower about taken out, which is not ideal for our Tyranid player. This one's still fine. Ravener Alpha coming back out on the field, and Ravener Alpha and Zoanthrope are trying to stop the Sentinel, but there is a lot of IG presence here, and the Zoanthrope is definitely out of position and low on energy, and this is not ideal for the Zoanthrope. We do have a partially repaired army coming up here. Ravener Alpha being forced out. It's trying to stay on the field for that damage aura, it looks like, but it is a tricky balance here. This is a tough spot for Mikasa to be in. If he takes any significant damage, he's going to lose a lot of stuff. That Ravener Alpha is very close to dying.
Just die inside.
So we had some losses there actually, and the Ravener Alpha does die ultimately. So that's not great. I don't know if they... Yeah, no, there's the Tyrant Guard is out. That'll be some much welcome defense for Mikasa, and that Ravener Alpha comes right out, and a Stormtrooper squad on the way for our IG player.
We just need to find an edge.
IG trying to capture, he's captured back the center, and we've got that improvised explosive device as well. Another requisition point coming into the possession of our IG player. Actually, no, that Sentinel backing out. Guards infantry squad capturing that. Stormtroopers on the field. Let's see what they upgrade themselves with. They are getting their assault anti-armor kit. Interesting. I guess maybe they've seen the Tyrant Guard. Or potentially they're trying to get a quick kill on the Zoanthrope. Recapping going on over here for Mikasa. So our Sentinel has switched out for missiles. We've got a lot of like big AoE damage coming on here. Hormigons continuing to try to harass the power farm, being chased away. Meltas.
Thank the Emperor for these weapons.
So Stormtroopers are really scary right now. We've got another capillary tower coming up. Tyrant Guard charging in here. It looks like the Melta's not doing a ton of damage to it all at once. But a lot of stuff being chased off here immediately from Mikasa. So this Tyrant Guard needs to get out, or it's just going to whittle down. Ravener Alpha coming out to try to help. But yeah, that Tyrant Guard is now fairly low on health, and the Meltas are not helping things considerably. Oh, interesting. Ripper Swarm out on the field. It's already pretty hurt, but it is definitely helping. Tyrant Guard trying to heal itself up. We'll have to see if that works. It looks like so far it's doing tolerably well. Rippers are out of the picture, and it looks like Ravener Alpha has died again. Zoanthrope die as well? Maybe? Tyrant Guard not doing too well. It's feeling it's being overwhelmed. Capillary Tower coming up again for Mikasa. So looks like we have a bunch of another artillery barrage coming down. War General out here. You know, I haven't looked at his. He looks like he's got grenade launchers and stabilizers. Which I imagine is going on here, the jacking the fight ability. Feeling on board.
Understood.
Mikasa being pushed really, really far back. his army's having a lot of trouble sustaining against the AoE DPS of the Zone Trip actually possibly didn't die. And we have Ravner Alpha Tier 3 coming out for our Russian named player. Yeah, but all this AoE is just, it's really hard to deal with. And losing that Tyranid Guard was not great. Those missiles all hit that Termagant Brood, deal a lot of damage. Mikasa's still in a tolerable spot in terms of the Ps. We'll have to see what happens in terms of gaining or losing squads. Tier 3 also coming out, Tier 3 Hive for our Tyranid player. So not too far behind the IG there.
Reporting ready.
But yeah, this blob is just, these Catachan Devils just, all this AoE is just really, really not great to attack into. Trying to go for that third VP, but it's probably not going to happen. Warrior Brood is knocked out. No, not knocked out, but knocked down, I guess, is more accurate. All that AoE with the shotguns and the grenades and all the, oh my god. It's just brutal. These Warrior Brood is not going to be able to, actually they might be able to just barely capture it. Capillary Tower is going down. More wasted resources for our Tyranid player. Zoanthrope trying to take some pot shots, but taking more damage on its own by the Lord General's grenades. The Warrior Brood actually did what they wanted to do and got that point back. This attack is coming back out. These Hormagaunts are dangerously low on health and probably gonna die if they don't get out of there real quick. They're getting pulled out now. Nobody getting anything at Tier 3 yet. I imagine they're all saving up for the big stuff like Carnifexes or what have you, Lumen Wrestles and all that good stuff. Warrior Brood with upgraded adrenal glands. They were trying to come attack these Catachan Devils, but the damage was too much. Another full retreat coming out for Mikasa. He started out so strong, but he is really hurting now. He's trying to capture this point, but I think a decap is the best that he's going to get right now. And he might lose his Hormagaunts for trouble. Path right through the enemy. They're actually barely going to be okay, it looks like. Barely escaping with their lives. Another push from Mikasa coming out, already taking a lot of damage on approach. These warriors are pretty much immediately going to be forced to run away. Ravner Alpha is doing all right. These warriors coming out here to try to retake this. It looks like they might actually be able to do it. We have a Human Russ on the field with a Vanquisher. And another support power coming down for our IG player. So, yeah, jeez Louise. This one, I really felt like the Tyranid started out in a very strong place, but I'm not really sure what their artifacts coming out might help, but this is kind of a... I mean, the entire map is captured by our IG player. Everything right now seems to belong to them. Plus, there's all these explosive devices. The power farm is going down for Mikasa. That's not great. Mikasa actually avoiding the IG player right now, coming out, trying to get behind him, it looks like. A bunker was dropped and is coming down. And it's very far forward in a very commanding position against the Tyranid, who, again, are taking massive damage even just on approach.
We are ready to proceed.
Sir, they've a solid 200 points now. Upgrade order received.
Here comes
Received.
Carnifex
We have an
getting
edge for now.
Stranglethorn Cannon. This IG army is attacking recklessly into Tyranid forces, but I wonder at this point whether recklessly is that big of a deal. Carnifex already taking massive damage. This has all the makings of a pivotal fight in this game.
I hear you.
IG are finally kind of forced off the field by the Tyranid assault. It remains to be seen if this is enough. We have Tyrannoforming with a bunch of capillary towers coming out. Hopefully this will help. The Tyrannoforming does seem to be killing Carnifex, which is definitely good. But a lot of very badly damaged Tyranids right now. That Lehman Rust still not taking too much damage. Plus another one of these stupid artillery barrages coming down, potentially going to kill these weakened Tyranids. Carnifex coming out to the middle of the map. It's very low on health.
They have 100 points, sir.
Rust is holding the line while these forces come back out. Sentinel is coming up here to try to retake this VP. Yeah, this is brutal. This is really brutal play. The Stranglethorn, oh no, he missed with the Stranglethorn cannon shot.
Because I'm in command, that's why. The infestation is right here.
Carnifex really has to be careful with how it approaches and how it engages. Not so the Lehman Rust, which is able to sit back here behind these lines and still contribute in a really big way. So the Carnifex is just got some sort of debuff going on and is running away, I assume, to try to heal up. Another big retreat coming in for our Tyranid player, and this is maybe looking like all she wrote, with the majority of the map being controlled by the IG this entire time. A lot of the back lines are still mined up.
For the Emperor, sir. Ever onward.
And there's the GG with the Imperial Guard win. I was actively rooting for, I'll admit, actively rooting for the Tyranids in this one, just because of all the IG wins I've seen lately. It feels like a really tough matchup for anybody, at least for Eldar and Tyranid. It does, at least. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'm Wayward. This has been Dawn of War 2 Elite Mod with, again, I feel terrible, I don't know this player's name, but our blue Imperial Guard player with a Russian name, and Mikasa as our Tyranids. Yeah, so a really strong start to the match. I was hopeful to see a lot of good back and forth. And in the beginning, there was a lot of fun back and forth. We saw a lot of red resource being used, actually, both by the Tyranid with the Tyranid formation and the capillary towers, and the IG with these crazy artillery barrages. But yeah, man, with all this AoE with the shotguns and the grenades and the other grenades and the missiles and the other grenades and the Lehman Rust cannon with the increased AoE damage, it was very, very dominating against the Tyranids. And even when they finally got out heavy units like the Carnifex or the Tyranid Guard, it just didn't seem to do much. It just gave them a focus for all that AoE to go down on those units. It was really, really hard to see and kind of, brutal to witness. Anyway, I'm Wayward. This has been Dawn of War 2 Elite Mod. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.